Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, the former governor of the great state of Nevada, Robert List, joins us for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Robert List, former governor of the great state of Nevada. So good to see you, sir.
Great being with you, Sam. Great to see you.
So let's start out with, obviously, Donald Trump victorious. What do you think of his first 15 minutes of office? Because it seems like he got an awful lot accomplished already.
He has, and I think it's a great new, refreshing beginning for America and really for the world. We've got a dynamic guy in there now who's on top of things and paying attention and putting America first. I'm thrilled.
So one of the questions I want to raise with you is on the immigration issue, because obviously, I mean, it is what it is, but there are a lot of undocumented people working in Nevada in the hospitality industry, in the construction industry, in ranching and farming. Do you have concerns about them and what that will do to our economy, potentially?
Well, it could become challenging. I think for the time being, as long as they stay out of trouble, which most of them will. I like taking the hardcore criminals out. First of all, that's good for our country, irrespective of where they're from or what their backgrounds are. Anytime we can make the streets safer, that's a good thing. And I don't have any idea how long that's going to take or how many of them there are. But if they start removing families and husbands and wives and their children, then it could become an issue for the workforce.
One of the things we always talk about privately, but not necessarily publicly, is that there's a big difference between running for office and actually governing. But in this particular case, Donald Trump not only had 4 years of experience as president, but he had another 4 years to work with others like the Heritage Foundation to come up with plans for a potential second term. So do you think that there is going to be a big difference between the campaign and the reality?
Not so much. I think that he understood the reality going into this campaign, having been there and governed and knowing the various agencies and their responsibilities. He certainly, during that interim 4-year period, followed all of the international developments, just as he had for the previous 4 years. So he comes into this with really, I think, 8 years of intense scrutiny of a lot of areas, better prepared by far than he would have if he'd just gone straight into a second term. So I think I'm sure there were some exaggerations and things that will be difficult to accomplish, but I see a pretty smooth transition here.
Do you get the sense sometimes in watching the news media coverage in general of Donald Trump that he throws out red herrings to get the media drawn over to one thing, when in fact it's really misdirection, because what they're really working on is all these other things on the other side that the media is not concentrating on? Good negotiating, I would think.
I think so, and he likes surprises too, doesn't he? He may come out with something and you think he's working on that, and instead he's working on this, and he brings a nice surprise to us that is unexpected.
It was interesting to watch the inaugural and pleasing to see, for example, the entire Supreme Court showing up for the event, and the previous president showing up. Whether they agree with him or not, it was good to see that coming together. One of the things that strikes me about not just a second Trump term, but any presidential term, is no matter how much popular support you might have, the other areas of government are not going to sit down and go to sleep for the next 4 years. So you have the courts involved, you have the Senate involved, you have the House involved, and they all have their strengths and their histories and reputations, and they're not going to just sit back and let things, if they don't agree, just go forward.
No, they aren't, and we've already seen some of that in the Hegseth confirmation process. The Democrats held hard, strong against that nomination, and so they're not going to just roll over. They're certainly not. But it strikes me that they don't have a real leader on the other side. I mean, you've got the majority leaders and the minority leaders actually in the House and Senate, but there's no strong national figure that is a respected spokesman on the Democrat side. At least not yet, in my judgment. Nobody's emerged. Certainly, Kamala is not that person. Biden's not that person, and I just don't see a dominant individual, so-called loyal opposition, that's the number one spokesman for the Democrats. They're kind of in disarray.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's go back in time in history. So when Ronald Reagan beat Walter Mondale, Mondale got one state, his home state of Minnesota. Was there soul searching at the time in the Democratic Party as to why Mondale had done so badly? Because at this point, Democrats seem to be more in shock than soul searching at this point.
Well, I think that's true. I mean, you read some of the columnists and follow their observations, but they say there's soul searching going on, but I don't see anybody leading the soul searching. No one that just stands out that's going to emerge at this point as a strong person who's going to pull the party together.
He's a little old now to be doing it, but it seems like the strongest voice of common sense in the Democratic Party is James Carville, because at least he comes out and tells the truth.
He does, and interestingly enough, Republicans often agree with him as much as the Democrats in terms of what he says. He does speak the truth, but there doesn't seem to be anyone among the governors or among the senators who picks up the mantle and runs with it and calls it straight.
Do you think that the Democrats made a mistake in not having a primary at the convention amongst 4 or 5 of the leading contenders rather than going with Vice President Harris? Because it seems to me that that would have been the biggest TV event they could have had, and that was a missed opportunity for them.
Well, I guess there are any number of things that if they'd done it differently, they would have had a better chance. Because,
for example.
Yeah, having a wide open horse race at their convention would have been altogether different, and they just stuck to the progressive line, irrespective of what the public was talking about and thinking and caring about. I think that Trump really had the heartbeat of the country in mind in his policies, and they're now using the term common sense, and I think it was common sense. People didn't like the woke business at all, and except for the far left, the extreme progressives, liberals, people didn't buy that, and people were upset about the crime rate in this country, and people felt that America was adrift in terms of what was happening in Gaza Strip and in Ukraine, and we just were not engaging in problem solving. It didn't seem to most Americans, and that includes independents and a lot of Democrats, some of whom really had to suck it up and bite their tongue to vote for Trump, but they did so.
Well, I think also, it brought home what James Carville had said all along, which was it's the economy, stupid. When the price of eggs, is $8, $9, $10 for a carton of eggs, you're going to have a problem. And that's the most important. Gavin Newsom seemed as though he was going to be, a standard bearer. But I think the fires in California and the devastation there has ended any chance of him becoming president.
I think so too. And he seems to be still clinging to his woke philosophy and doing what they're doing in California. Passing a bill of $50 million to fight the Trump initiatives. That is not a popular thing across the country. People just voted just the opposite. So he's not doing himself any favors.
Does this election, which surprised a lot of Democrats in the fact that African Americans and Hispanics voted for Trump, that you could see not 100% turnover, but a large gain for Republicans if Trump's policies work, that you could see California becoming redder than it's been in a long time? I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a Republican, Ronald Reagan was a Republican, both governors of California.
Governor Wilson. We've had a lot of Republican senators from California, not that long ago. And I could see it swinging back. Certainly Central California, the San Joaquin Valley, and the Southern California to some degree in Orange County, San Diego County, and with these fires, even LA County.
The California Coastal Commission has been quick to oppose so many initiatives, and one of them would be desalination, which would have been very beneficial to Nevada. Do you see them changing their ways in with what we're seeing as the result of these fires?
I do. I mean, that really hit the very lifeblood of people's savings and financial planning and family activity. It really had to hit home that something's wrong and it hasn't been properly managed. When you think about all that water just running out to sea, that could have been managed and properly handled, I think people are waking up and saying, well, this is awful. What position have we put ourselves in?
Well, you know, it's interesting. You mentioned all the water going out to sea. We've been talking about this on Nevada Newsmakers for probably 20 years at this point. But it's a 30-plus year project to be able to capture that water. But it's amazing that California really hasn't done that because it's billions of gallons of water every time it rains down there that just go off into the ocean. So it'll be interesting to see how this changes. But where are the construction workers going to come from? You know, where are the people that are going to have to rebuild these thousands of homes? It's going to be extraordinary. And what's going to happen to the insurance companies? Because will they survive this?
That's a very good question. It's going to take, without doubt, some fresh policies in terms of premium setting, and we need insurance companies. They play an important role, and your questions are right on. The whole matter of the workforce and all. The state is going to have to change some policies to make it an attractive place for working families to live and to prosper and to do well, and they've got to build that into their tax planning. And I know that much of California, you can't even buy an insurance policy, fire insurance especially, nowadays.
You know, it was interesting. A couple of weeks ago, Jon Stewart on The Daily Show, who I like a lot because he bashes both sides. He doesn't just take one side, and even though he's a liberal, I appreciate that. And he was showing photographs of LA in the 1960s when it was basically desert, and then comparing it today. And you could see what the issue was, which is back in the 60s, if there was a wildfire, it wasn't going to be devastating. Now there's so much housing there that there's no chance with the Santa Ana winds, which are not going away, that there's going to be a fire danger. Let's take a break and come back. I've got some historical things I want to talk to you about, all right, after this break.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
A new year brings new ways to win big with the $150,000 flurry of cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thursday and Saturday prize drawings, including up to $5,000 in cash and up to $10,000 during the grand prize giveaways, only at the Carson Valley Inn.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Robert List. He is the former governor of the great state of Nevada. So I've been reading a lot of books lately about Howard Hughes. What was your connection with Howard Hughes and what he was doing here in the Silver State?
Well, I never met him personally. I did.
Neither did anybody else.
Very few did. I did have an occasion where I was scheduled to meet with him. He was. You remember when he went down to Nicaragua when
Yes.
he left Las Vegas, and his team reached out to me. Fred Lewis worked as his political liaison and said that Mr. Hughes would like to meet me, and they would arrange for one of their aircraft to take me down to Nicaragua to meet with him. As it turned out, you may recall he didn't stay very long because they had a political uprising of some kind, and he immediately left Nicaragua. He had no passport. He went to Florida, and I think they woke up the Secretary of State in the middle of the night. Within 24 hours, he had a passport, and then he went on to England to London from there. But so my one purported meeting with him never occurred. But I knew of him, of course, during the Laxalt years, what he was doing. Senator Laxalt and Governor Laxalt at that time had many meetings with him by telephone, and I can recall some of those tales, and one in particular I can tell you about. Nixon was running for president, and Hughes wanted to support Nixon because he thought he might be able to get the nuclear testing at the Nevada test site terminated if he gave some money to Nixon. And in those days, there were no restrictions on how much a campaign could receive. And so the story goes that Hughes called up Laxalt and said, what do you think I ought to do? And Paul said, well, give him some money. And Hughes said, well, how much shall I give him? And Paul Laxalt said, give him all he will take. and of course, then there was, as I remember, there was $300,000 was transferred down to B.B. Rebozo in Florida to make the transaction, and it never actually happened. Later on, that money was used to pay the Watergate burglars.
It's an amazing story. For those that have not dived into the Howard Hughes story, it is truly fascinating. And a good place to start is the movie The Aviator, the Martin Scorsese movie, but it ends before he comes to Nevada. But the Nevada part is just fascinating. Let's take another break, and I want to ask you about another famous Nevadan after this time out.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Here on 7 at 7, we're bringing you the local headlines in just 7 minutes.
We've got you covered in the morning, evening, and for all breaking news, in between, and as it happens.
Life is busy, and we don't waste your time. Join us for local news now streaming on our YouTube page.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Robert List. He's the former governor of the great state of Nevada. For those in Nevada who are concerned about a second Donald Trump presidency, what do you say to them?
I say relax. He cares about Nevada. He's not going to hurt us. He's going to do everything he can to help us.
And that's where we have to leave it. Robert List, always a delight to see you, my friend, in person as well as here virtually. And we'll be right back.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to CAANV.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
The new year is bringing so much fun to Tamarack Casino with cash and free play drawings Thursdays and Saturdays, and $40,000 in grand finale giveaways Thursday, February 27th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day on various platforms, including television, radio, our website, audio and video podcasts, YouTube. If you want to find the show, you can find it pretty darn easily. And we cover politics, business, health, and education. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next podcast.